Because he didn't fight a war. He didn't conquer the Romans. That's the short answer. My guy here on Facebook messaged me and asked me what are my thought processes on the difference between the concept of the Jewish Messiah and the Christian concept of the Messiah. This is actually a very long, thought out answer, but I'm going to condense it. The shorter version is this. According to the Jewish prophecies, the Messiah was supposed to come to earth and be a military leader out of the house of David, reconquer Israel, recreate the kingdom that David had created, and that kingdom would be established for a millennium, for 1,000 years, that this Messiah's kingdom would then reign here on earth as a physical being, as a physical country. Now, some are going to say, well, the Jewish state was reestablished in 1941. At some point, their Messiah is expected to come and take all the rest of Israel. And once they do, it will last for 1,000 years. Some think Bibi could be that Messiah, but he's a living, breathing person who forms military action. But the difference is this. This prophecy was written in and around the time frame either during the Greek conquest and control of the Levant or the Roman control of the Levant. But either way from when it was written, during the Roman era, Jewish people were looking for a Messiah who would conquer and take over the Romans. The reason why I put it in both the Greek and the Romans is because you have the Maccabees. The Maccabees were a very powerful family, and they established a free state in the midst of the Greek rule over the Levant. So while they had this free state, they, in their mind, that's how the Messiah would come, as a military leader. Of course, the Maccabees were eventually destroyed. This is where, if you go to Israel and go to Masada, you can go and see where they had their last stand. And this is often where certain military people receive their graduations at Masada to commemorate what they did in standing against the Greek Empire. So during the Roman Empire, it was a hotbed for looking for this physical Messiah to come to establish an earthly kingdom. The Christian concept changed it because Vespasian, realizing that he needed to conquer this Jewish military Messiah story, concocted a story about a Jewish Messiah who had already came, and that Jewish Messiah promised you a kingdom in heaven, and that you're supposed to honor and love the government to which you're under because God decided that governor for you. Your Bible actually says that. But understand this as a quick little side note. Josephus ben Matthias, who was the leader of the Galilean army, lost to Vespasian and Titus at the Battle of Galilee, at the Sea of Galilee. This is where Titus instructed his men to become fishers of men. And in doing so, and promising to suicide himself after killing his other compatriots so that they would not become Roman prisoners, utilized the Jewish text to let Vespasian know that he would be the next great emperor, because the next Messiah for the Jewish people would come out of Judea, would come out of the Levant. Upon Vespasian hearing this, he recognized that that was something he can use to deify himself in the imperial religion to which all emperors must do. And reading the tea leaves, knowing that Nero was about to be disposed as emperor, as the number one general, he had the greatest possibility of becoming the emperor of Rome. So Josephus became Titus's scribe. If you read the Annals of Titus, you'll see that many of the things in the Annals of Titus are similar to what you see in your four Gospels. But once Vespasian became emperor, and once Vespasian was deified, the Christian story, with the help of Philo of Alexander and I think it might be a Herod, one of the Herod's grandsons, began to formulate what became your Gospels and what became Christianity. And then those books were Romanized for people to respect Rome, respect the government, and to look for heaven in the hereafter, that the Messiah's earthly kingdom will happen after this battle at Megiddo, which many battles happen at Megiddo, which is your apocalypse. Many battles happened there because it was a crossroad of trade and communication between the East and the West. So it was a very strategic and economical place. So he made it seem like it was something that would come later and you should just thrive to turn the other cheek, to pray for your leadership, and to render unto Caesar what is Caesar. And that created a Christian Messiah who was a pacifist and who told you, don't worry about your conditions today, because if God so arranged the lily pads in such a way, then what would he not do for you? But yet there are Christians born and raised who die in abject poverty, believing that the life after is the true treasure. Because you're not supposed to store up your treasures on earth, but store them up in heaven. I got a great video for you guys about that one. So those are the differences. The Jewish Messiah is a world leader in the physical world, living in our time or at some time frame that reconquers the Levant and reigns for 1,000 years. The Christian Messiah is a Roman sympathizer who tells you to obey the government. And as Seeley said, life on earth, I can't even do it, but wait for the hereafter. Basically, deal with life on earth, the shit show that you got, and just wait for the hereafter. So y'all have a great day. And remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.